And now we are excited to present part 3 of today's onstage series featuring the work and findings of 3 students of the Knowledge Society. This is a shining spotlight on how young people are approaching the ideas of Think 2030. This next student is exploring the world of micronutrients, which affect every aspect of our health, to help us take ownership of our own health in an inventive way. Please welcome to the stage, Ashley Moe.
That it's later than it seems. Doctor, my eyes.
Chris Hadfield stood here. This is so awesome. Hi guys, I'm Ashley, 17 years old, and I started my journey 2 years ago at TKS, a student accelerator program. And during my time there, I found that my jam was in diagnostics. I started off as this AI kid building a machine learning algorithm that could screen for respiratory diseases via forced cough recordings. And now I'm exploring my love for chemistry, building this point-of-care micronutrient biosensor that can enable us to secure autonomy over our health. Because if there's one really big thing that I have come to notice, it's that we actually have no idea what's happening inside of our bodies. I have a friend, she's anemic, she knows this for like 3 years. At most, she would fall asleep in class. But what gave me a jump scare was that she told me that if her deficiency wasn't caught, she would have suffered from some serious cardiac stress problems. Micronutrient deficiency is coming to our attention as one of the leading indirect causes for a lot of common but fatal diseases. And this is not something surprising because micronutrients affect every aspect of our health. Did you know that you have a 24% higher risk of heart disease with iron deficiency, a 31% higher risk of colon cancer with vitamin D deficiency, a 40% higher risk of obesity with B12 deficiency, and 50% of children are blind because they're vitamin A deficient? And I can guarantee that at least a third of this audience is at risk for some sort of disease. But nobody would be able to point out who, because we have no visibility. Micronutrients, they're some pretty tricky guys to track, unlike macronutrients, which you may be more familiar with. Those food labels can really be hit or miss, and we absorb micronutrients to different extents. So the amount that we intake is not a true reflection of our actual status. Now, we're very lucky because we can get a blood test, except we have to do a couple of things. So we need to book an appointment, then wait a couple of days, go to the doctors, get your blood drawn, and then wait 5 business days for results to come back. And this data, it's static. Even after my friend was diagnosed, her regular checkups were every 6 months to a year. But micronutrients, they don't work on that calendar. They fluctuate whenever they want, which is basically every day. So yes, we live in this developed world, but we still don't have autonomy over our health. Like I can think of things like smartwatches and glucometers, but that's it. And so what if we envision the shift in the way that we monitor ourselves, a device that can take a small quantity of blood and can get you results on the 7 essential micronutrients. Beside the bed, beside the coffee table, we can track trends, and when we notice that something is wonky, we can be like, hey doc, can you get me started on some, pills or recommend me a new diet? Because the most frustrating thing is that micronutrient deficiency is 100% preventable. All we have to do is pop in a pill, eat fortified food, get started on a new diet. And that's really all that we have to do. And so, okay, Ashley, you have this vision. Now what? Maybe we can actually secure autonomy over our health one day. Well, I really like to build, and over the summer, I mapped out the biochemistry of this device, getting some guidance from people at MIT, Purdue, and Club B12 UK, and this winter, I am so goddamn excited because we're finally going to be building our first wet lab prototype ever at Harvard, and by the way, I just want to give you guys a heads up. In no way are we building Theranos 2.0. I've gotten too many comments about that. We're going to add in one marker at a time, validating each assay along the way through, starting with vitamin B12, which is what we're going to do this winter. And you can picture it as a pregnancy-like test that uses glucometers and glucose strips. So essentially, we could go to the drugstore, get the bulk of our materials there, bring it at home, assemble it, and boom, we have it, making this device so highly attainable. Imagine if we can crack our current health outcomes at any time. Because the last thing that we want is for some sort of a heart or cancer problem to be a jump scare. By 2030, maybe we can actually measure our micronutrients and secure autonomy over our health. Thank you.